who is a regular visitor of Lisbon. So it's my pleasure. He's from Bordeaux, the University of Bordeaux, and he's going to talk about stochastic mean curvature flow and intertwined Brownian laws. Thank you, Mark.
Okay. First, I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me to give this talk. I'm very glad to be here physically for the first time since very long. I am sorry, I won't speak about Schrödinger problem, and I won't speak about optimal transport, but I will speak a little bit about entropy. And okay, so this is a joint work with Collet, Coulibaly-Pasquier from Nancy and Laurent Miclot from Toulouse. So let me start with some motivation and some example. Oh, first I'll describe what I will be talking about. First, I will give preliminary examples. Then I will speak about stochastic mean curvature flow and intertwined Brownian motion. In the third part, I will speak about evolution of morphological skeletons of moving sets. And in the fourth part, I will give some examples in the plane or in the line. Okay, so let me begin with Pitman theorem. Oh, I am sorry for those who already heard about this. So what does the Pitman 2m minus x theorem say? Take the WT real-valued Brownian motion started at 0, and consider this SG. So it is well known that it is a Bessel-III process, meaning that it is a norm of three-dimensional Brownian motion started at 0. Okay. Now take another real Brownian motion xt started at 0 and consider r prime t equal to xt minus 2 minimum of xs from the past. And consider a third process, rt, which is the absolute value of Brownian motion xt plus local time at 0, which we can also write as integral from 0 to t for sine of xs dxs plus 2 local time at 0. And by Pitman theorem, r prime t and rt are Bessel-III processes, and for any r stopping time tau, the law of x tau conditional to the past of r is a uniform on minus r tau r tau. So let me just to I will consider that this is a Bessel-III in a small filtration, and those are Bessel-III in a large filtration. It is very strange at first glance that all these processes have the same law, since the first one has absolutely continuous drift, and the two other ones have a singular drift, but with respect to xt, not with respect to r. So, and what is the picture of this? So, we have 0 rt minus rt, and in fact, I will be interested by the interval on the. I have xt somewhere, and what says the theorem is that xt conditional to r X is uniformly distributed in minus R, R. Okay. Let me go to another example. Now I still consider WT real valued Brownian motion started at 0, and I consider R tilde t is equal W2t plus integral from 0 to t d plus 1 over 2 R tilde s ds, and I consider this ball, so 0 R tilde t, and here is d tilde t. Okay. R tilde t is d plus 2 Bessel process. Okay. And on the other hand, okay, this one will be the process in the small filtration. And this one, now let me consider now exterior Brownian motion, but now in RD, started at 0, and let RT be solution of dRT is equal to minus dxt and xt plus, so minus d minus 1 over 2RT plus d minus 1 over RT. So n of xt, so let me draw a picture, n. Okay, if xt is here, n is inward normal. Okay. And I will still consider RT here and DT here, the set. Okay. And so DT is the ball in centered at 0 with radius RT, included in RD. Okay. And one can prove that DT and DT have the same law and the same result, conditional to D from 0 to T. The law of X2 is uniform in D. And again, the generators are intertwined. Okay. So when seeing these two examples, one ask oneself what is the relation between Pitman result and this result in RD. So we will try to understand more these two results and to make a generalization. So let us consider so in a manifold M, in a Riemannian manifold M, some domain D with a boundary partial D, some morphological skeleton S. Okay, S is a morphological skeleton. It is the cut locus of distance to boundary. Okay. So several objects will enter into the game. We will have the normal to boundary n of y. Okay, normal to distance, gradient of distance to boundary n of z for any z. Okay, and h will be mean curvature of level set of distance to boundary. Okay, and we'll also enter into the game theta. When you start from the boundary, normally to the boundary, you meet the morphological skeleton with an angle theta. In fact, the morphological skeleton, it has several parts. It has regular parts. The regular parts is here, okay, which is codimension 1. Here you have some intersections which are also regular, but with codimension 2. And here you have a singular part, the distance to boundary. The relation of distance to boundary vanishes. Okay, so several parts, and we will mostly be interested by the regular part, which has dimension wide, because the other parts are not visited by Brownian motion. Okay, so here is a summary of what I said. M is a d-dimensional manifold. We start from a domain D0 with C2 plus alpha boundary. Xt is the Brownian motion with M, with a uniform law, started with uniform law in the domain. And let me define the question. So I describe the motion of the boundary. Okay, this is normal at boundary. It is here. Okay. So in fact, dt will be coupled with the Brownian motion xt. So the noise is here. Okay, the noise. So this is the increment of one-dimensional Brownian motion, because dxt bracket with a norm one vector. Here you have a mean curvature at boundary. Here you have mean curvature at the place where of level set of distance to boundary at the place where xt is. And here you have this strange object. So there are sinus of theta of so the angle with the morphological skeleton. And here you have local time of Brownian motion at skeleton. Okay. Okay. Here we are. And what I am pretending is that this equation, in fact, you have already seen it twice in the two examples. Okay. And in fact, this is the process in the large filtration. Okay. Let me describe the evolution of another process. I described the evolution of a boundary. Again, normal at boundary. Here I have a one-dimensional Brownian motion. So one-dimensional Brownian motion. Again, a mean curvature at boundary. And here, this is a new term. I take measure of the boundary divided by measure of the set. Okay, and so this will be my process in small filtration. COM for all D stopping time. So D is the first one. The law affects tau condition to the path of D is uniform. And D and detail have the same law. And in particular, DT, the Markov process, stopped at the heating time of inner or outer skeleton. I have to mention that there is our outer skeleton, which is the cut locus of outer distance, which is here. Okay. Okay. So to prove this, to directly prove this theorem is hard. So we need to make regularizations. So in fact, the second part is a generalization of Pitman theorem, because it includes Pitman theorems, and the proof requires some regularization. So let us. Okay, I have again the picture here. Let me introduce some function f. So fd for any domain d fd in fact, well, you can see that as a regularization of a distance to boundary, it will be much more general. I will only ask it to be one Lipschitz, to have the same gradient as distance to boundary on boundary, and to have the same Hessian of distance same Laplacian of distance to boundary at boundary. Only these two requirements. And this function from of x and of d is sufficiently regular. Let me now consider the system of Ito equations. So the first one, x, will be a Brownian motion. So constructed as here I have a one-dimensional term, and since f is one Lipschitz, I just complete to get a Brownian motion. It is easy. And let me consider the motion of the set. So again, I describe the motion of good boundary. So here you have one-dimensional Brownian motion. Here always the same term, and I take Laplacian of my function f. Okay. And I again consider this kind of generalization of the Bessel-III process, which is the one is the small filtration. So what can we say about this equation? So consider L the generator of xd described by the first system, and stopped before heading time by dt of inner or outer skeleton, on L tilde the generator of the d tilde t. Okay, and let me consider this product law, which is composed of the law of d tilde t, product with a uniform law inside D. Okay, and the theorem is the derivative with respect to t of nu t is equal to nu tl. And in fact, this is a result which makes everything to work, because as a consequence, nu t is invariant by the semigroup pt of xt dt. Okay, and from this one get everything. So conditional to d rho t x2 as the uniform law in dt, and dt and d tilde has the same law, and in particular dt is a Markov process at any time of inner or outer skeleton. So this can be seen as another proof or new proof of Pitman's theorem, except that we have constructed the process with f, which is sufficiently regular, and in fact, passing from this to the first result I spoke about, only needs well, it's not so easy, but it requires to let to take a sequence of f epsilon d converging to distance to boundary, because in fact, if you look at the term here, all of this is you can consider it at Laplacian distance to boundary of xt dt. Okay. So for getting this result from the second one, you have to approximate distance to boundary by the function f I introduced here. So a k-gradient of the proof is Stokes theorem. When checks that xt stays inside dt, and the marginal laws of xt and dt, they do not depend on the choice of ld on sigma dt, but the joint law does depend. Okay, if I make a picture, the full coupling I described in the beginning consists in taking an approximation of distance of boundary. So in abscissa, you represent m. D are represented as an interval, but it is any set. Partial D are 2 points, and I have some tent function, and this is approximation. Okay. And so, what is the link with the Bessel-III process? So, I recall the question for my moving set. So in the small filtration, so it has been proved by Coulibaly and Miklo that the volume process mu of dt tau t is a Bessel-III process of dimension 3 with after change of time, and the change of time is the inverse of the measure of the boundary square, integral of the boundary square. So this is another a nice and mysterious link with the Bessel-III process. Okay, let me speak about another example. So we saw that any smooth FD, which is one Lipschitz and which coincides with distance to boundary at boundary, makes a coupling. So I will try to approximate the zero function, okay? Because I will. This is an authorized function because it coincides to distance to boundary in the red part. And the question is, what happens when we construct this kind of coupling and we make the red part go to zero? So, and this is the construction which is here. So now dxt will be a Brownian motion constructed with some Brownian motion. Here, the moving set will be constructed with an independent Brownian motion wt. And here, instead of local time at a morphological skeleton, take local time at boundary. So, in fact, the coupling is well, in fact, xt is independent of dt, except at the point where they meet, and xt pushes the dt with the local time. And the theorem is again the law of xt is to x conditional to d is uniform, and d and d tilde have the same law. Okay. So, what is let me speak about the motion of skeleton. So, I draw the picture of D, boundary of D skeleton on the different angles. And let me consider so some general motion. The boundary moves with some parts which depend on the position on some real value at the semi-martingale. So one can prove that the skeleton has some normal evolution of some tangential evolution. The normal evolution, first, the normal evolution depends on the HD of y1 minus HD of y2, and with so nd1 minus nd2, n1 minus n2, which is normal. And the tangential is more complicated because it involves some Jacobi field. And what is remarkable is that it is a finite variation. So the skeleton has a finite variation as soon as one takes this equation for dt. Okay. So let me briefly consider again the symmetric interval in the beginning. So we saw that R tilde is the Bessel 3. The full coupling yields xt, absolute value of xt plus L local time at 0, because the morphological skeleton is 0. Full decoupling means WT plus local time at RT. Inverse coupling, I don't speak about it. Pit-mat coupling is 2 local time at RT minus XT, yielding 2 subprime of path subprime of S minus XT. And inverse we always have RT Bessel 3, and law of XT condition to R is uniform. And just one pitch of Pitman coupling, the function to take, in fact, it has to be Lipschitz. One Lipschitz and to have the correct gradient on Laplacian on boundary, but it can have 2 different values on boundary. And the function which makes the job is this one, and then we let the red part go to 0, and we get Pitman's coupling, so Pitman's theorem. Okay. Another example is the annulus in a Riemannian manifold. It is very simple because the skeleton is a sphere, but maybe I will skip this part and directly go to the R2 case. So let me consider the mean curvature flow in okay. From now on, I'll concentrate on the R2 case. So mean curvature flow, the equation is simply writes the motion of the boundary is normal interior normal times mean curvature. Okay. It is well known that it is the inverse gradient flow for 1/2 length of the boundary. Okay. Starting from a smooth set, it is there no self intersection. Means that, for instance, I have a smooth set here, and since when here the mean curvature is to the left, here the mean curvature is to the left, right. And in fact, no self intersection can occur. Okay. And in fact, the solution becomes more and more round. The isoperimetric ratio converges to 1 and shrinks to a point in finite time. These results are from Scan in 84, Gage 83, Gage 84, and Gage Hamilton 86. Okay. So let me now consider renormalize mean curvature flow in R2. So to the equation I add here, so it is part of the equation of d tilde t I considered before, with again sigma measure of the boundary, lambda measure of dt. One can prove that it is the inverse gradient flow for sigma over 2 lambda 2, so sigma over 2 volume square. But if I add this term, then a self-intersection of the boundary can occur unless we start from a convex set. Because in this situation here, the renormalized mean curvature flow, there is no guarantee that self-intersection cannot occur here, because if I have a very small volume, then the renormalization term will push outside. But starting from a convex set, one can prove that self-intersection of the boundary cannot occur. So starting from a convex set, we can parameterize with angle theta. So this is a picture here. Theta is the angle between the horizontal vector and tangent vector of the boundary. So I can parameterize with the angle theta. So this equation here, we write in terms of curvature with this equation. Okay. One can prove that the curvature stays away from 0. One can prove that the function k of t is decreasing. For k of t is sigma over is measure of the boundary divided by the. Okay, and this relies on the on gauge inequality when writing the ODE for KT. When you use the k smaller than 1 over p integral of rho over S1. Okay. One can prove that the entropy function integral of log rho is decreasing. And one can prove that we have an inverse Poincaré inequality, integral of derivative of rho, theta derivative of rho square, smaller than integral of rho square plus constant. This is a consequence of Wirtinger inequality. And from this and this, one can control the maximum of rho. The idea is if you control the integral of log of rho, and if the derivative of rho is not large, then the max of rho cannot be too large because since the derivative is controlled, if the max is too large, then the integral of log rho will not be decreasing. Okay. And from this, we can prove infinite lifetime for the renormalized mean curvature flow. Okay. So, but still, this is without the Brownian motion. So now let me add the third term, so the stochastic renormalized mean curvature flow. So, I add the Brownian motion term. Sorry, how much time do I have?
10, 15 more minutes.
Okay, very good. 14, okay. So one can prove that it preserves convex sets, and so we can rewrite with the theta parameterization on curvature rho theta, and we get this equation d rho t is equal to 1/2 rho t square, second derivative rho plus d rho minus 3k, k is the sigma over lambda, minus dwt, because this is the equation for curvature. So, but from here, in fact, we would like to prove infinite lifetime. So the first easy thing is to prove that rho stays away from 0. So from this equation, you see that rho is the exponential of something, and it cannot, cannot converge to 0. So this is the easy part. Again, KT is a super martingale. This is also a consequence of gauge inequality. But in the program, we cannot continue with the fact that the entropy function is a super martingale. We need to start with n branch skeleton with n larger than 3. So let me make a picture. So I am in R2 here. Okay, and I consider symmetric sets. For instance, for this one, I will assume that I have a horizontal symmetry by reflection here, vertical symmetry by reflection here. So this set is symmetric. For this one, I will assume all symmetry by reflection. This reflection, all this reflection, I consider that it is symmetric. Same with this one. All symmetries are assumed. Same for this one. So starting from n branch skeleton with n larger than 3, so I am in this situation. Then I can prove that the entropy is a super martingale. So, and it is base of improvement of Wirtingen inequality with symmetries. Okay, and let me continue. Starting from n branches skeleton with n larger than 7. So I could not even make a picture. I can prove that the integral of rho at the power 4 is a super martingale plus a abundant process. I'm happy with it. Consequently, the process integral of dρt, it's always with respect to d theta, remains bounded. So I can prove that the maximum of rho is almost surely stays bounded. Same proof as before, and hopefully we will get infinite lifetime, but with a skeleton with more than 7 branches. But this is still a work in progress. Okay. Okay. Thank you for your attention.
So, okay, just wanted to ask if there are questions in the room or in the chat. Not in the room either. Well, I just have a very short question. If I understand well, none of your results depend on the dimension where you are. You didn't refer this, but it looks to me quite interesting. It don't.
Except the examples at the end where I am happy, but before
the general ones, because Brownian motion has many properties which are different depending on the dimension, but many dimensions. Okay. Any other question? Okay, so we have 7 minutes break, and so see you in 7 minutes.